This is Innovation Fixation, a series featuring local inventors showcasing the future of technology in our community.
Welcome to Innovation Fixation. I'm Joe Touger, attorney and guest host, and with me today is Justin Farrow of Beautiful Nation Project. Welcome, Justin. Tell us about Beautiful Nation Project.
Well, Beautiful Nation Project is an experiential learning project for kids in middle school and high school that connects students with the world, the earth that we share, and with each other. It is a social network which serves as a free tool for teachers to use in their classrooms to promote global citizenship and teach kids how other kids live around the world.
And how does it go about doing that?
Well, aboard a boat, I have 4 friends, colleagues that are eco-scientists and educators themselves that have substantial backgrounds in sailing, and they've all been around the world at least once. We decided to put together a social network that follows a journey around the world, a circumnavigation, where we visit different places. And the content, video, photo content, articles, interviews, all of that gets pulled together and sent back to me, the lighthouse keeper. And so I take that content and give the teachers that are following the journey the ability to mix and match it into custom curriculum, which basically gives a geographical component to any other component that we might be studying. That might be energy, could be water quality, marine debris, plastic pollution, that kind of thing. So attaching that geographic component and allowing the kids to interact with the sailors aboard the boat and the visiting experts that travel with us gives them a little more than just trying to teach a kid where something is on a map. You know, they can actually touch it, they can interact with it, they can ask questions, and it becomes more personal. So it's a new way of teaching geography, but it also takes into account the technologies that we're using today and technologies that kids are already using, like social networking and other, you know, they all have their handheld devices, and it kind of started out as a virtual tour of the world from a vantage point of a sailboat, but you know, it became a tool for educators, and it continues to grow that way.
Now, do you have any partners that work with you in Beautiful Nation Project?
Sure. I guess probably one of our most influential partners is Reach the World organization in New York City, where they do virtual pen pals and teach kids about other places in the world through logbooks that travelers submit and have together. So that's a partner that we've actually grow with, and you know, we submit articles as well to the Reach the World website. So that's a partnership. We work with the History Channel. We work with the USF Foundation in Chennai, India, which is hands-on citizen science. It's like a live virtual science fair that they have. So we have around 1 million students that follow us through that organization. We work with Earth Echo and the Worldwide Water Monitoring Project. We send out water quality testing kits to kids and allow them to monitor the changes in water quality in their own environment and talk about it through the network.
Now you mentioned that it's a sailing ship that's circumnavigating the globe, but there's something unique about the crew of the sailing ship. Can you tell us about that?
Well, they're all females, and very, very powerful and interesting females that all bring their own component to the project. My good friend Tonya Lovejoy, who is the captain, I went to undergrad with in College of Charleston, and ran back into her in New York on the street, actually, and we began talking about what we had been doing, and she worked with Reach the World. And I've been building social networks since about 2005, so I said, you know, why don't we make a virtual tour of the planet? You know, it was kind of just an idea we tossed around, but when she started talking to her other colleagues, people that she's worked with who Reach the World, and local artists and other scientists, they got really interested in wanting to put together a crew. And so not only do we work with our own boat, but we also work as traveling or visiting scientists on other chartered boats. So there may be a project that's happening in the Caribbean, an eco-science or eco-tourism style project. We'll get involved in that, and we'll pipe that content through our site so that teachers can benefit from it and the students can participate and interact with it.
Now, you had mentioned that through a particular foundation you have about 1 million students that follow you in India, but tell us a little bit about the students that may follow you here in the United States and how teachers or schools can become involved with your project.
Well, we've done, over the past couple years, we're going into season 2 now, and so season 1 was a journey that occurred aboard 3 different ships. And these ships, they explored different things. And so we had different schools that would want to join and follow us based on the types of things those initial charters were exploring. And these days, it's really about the cities that we visit, mostly coastal cities. We've done the One Spark crowdfunding campaign festival 3 times. That's brought us a lot of schools from Jacksonville, and we've got schools in Wilmington, North Carolina. We've got student ambassadors in each of these schools that, you know, help us disseminate the information through all the kids and that kind of thing. But schools are actively joining based on just educator interest. You know, if they want to build custom curriculum out of our content and bring it into the classroom, or maybe they just want to sign up for video conferences, they would ask us to stream in live to their classroom, give the kids an opportunity to have some one-on-one with the ladies aboard the boat and ask specific questions. And so as that evolves, you know, those particular interactions will become video content as well, so other classrooms can learn what other classrooms are learning, and so it grows from there. It grows from there, for sure.
Well, you know, Hillsborough County schools it is one of the largest school districts in the country, and so a Hillsborough County school teacher will be able to access your program and be able to incorporate that in the curriculum that he or she may be involving his or her students in.
For sure, and it's a free tool for teachers, and so there's no barriers there, and we, you know, our sponsors ensure that we also have supplementary content that's coming in as well, other than the stuff that's going on the boat. Like the History Channel, for example, they have lots of study guides and things that kids can learn at their own pace and interact with. So it really is a very unselfish project, and then we allow other organizations and other missions to be illuminated through our platform.
Just a very innovative idea you've had, and if students or teachers want to learn more about it, where would they go to find more information?
They can find us at beautifulnationproject.org. We're also on Twitter, BNationProject. We've got a Facebook page, Beautiful Nation Project on Facebook. You can find us just about anywhere you are on social media as a little satellite to the main content. You can see it streaming through and follow the journey yourself. You know, we really need to, if we don't teach kids how to think outside of their local environment, we're chaining them to it. And so this project, we hope, will break a lot of those chains.
Well, Justin, your passion shows through. Thank you so much for sharing your project with us here today, and we hope to learn more about it.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
And we will be right back with more Innovation Fixation.
Creating a corporate video is the fastest way to deliver any message online about your business. Many companies are now switching their primary marketing focus to online video-based strategies, and as such are seeing a much higher return on investment. Video sharing sites like Vimeo or YouTube have the potential to get your videos seen by millions of viewers, simply because videos hosted on these sites are shareable. A corporate video can be the gift that keeps on giving, as it can be used in a multitude of different ways. The video can double as a brand awareness tool. The video also can be repurposed or cut down to a promotional style. With an experienced, creative, and award-winning staff, TBCN is the right choice for all your video and audio production needs. To learn about how we can help you expand or refine your business through the use of video, call us at 813-977-5200 and visit us at tbcn.org.
Welcome to Innovation Fixation. I'm Joe Touger, attorney and guest host, and with me today is Luther Palmer of LuBotics. Welcome, Luther. Tell us about LuBotics.
Well, LuBotics is a relatively new technology startup coming from the University of South Florida. I'm a professor there, and I started the business at the end of last year, and we make small-legged robots for military surveillance, for planetary exploration, and for like time-critical search and rescue tasks along maybe first responders.
Now, what we're used to seeing are small robots with either wheels or treads, but your robots have a different design. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it's kind of inspired by small animals such as cockroaches and lizards and even the common squirrel. I'm fascinated riding down the street looking at these squirrels because of how capable they are. And what makes them capable is their legs, the legs that can fold to get into tight spaces and extend to climb on top of things. So we hope to bring some of that functionality into small robotic systems to make them more capable as well.
Now, do you have any partners in your project?
Yeah, so on the university side, I have a graduate student, John Ripito, who works with me. He's getting his PhD in computer science and engineering. And then as a part of the business, I recruited one of my former students, Brad Savon.
And what do you see as the business or the project's expansion plans in the future?
Mm-hmm. So it's going to take us about a year to actually create a product that we can sell. And there's kind of two markets that we see. The first is military. The military wants their soldiers to have eyes in places that the soldiers can't get to. That's too dangerous. So having a small robot that they can carry on their back for 20 miles and then throw it into a second-story building. But our robot has to be much more ruggedized to accomplish those tasks. So about a year to do that. The other market is the consumer market, giving people the ability to have a really cool robot to walk around the house, maybe to look in the attic if there's any type of issues there. And then also there's a commercial side as well, where we're looking at how can these robots maybe help farmers. How can these robots help in the construction process? So there's several different avenues we think we can go. I mean, of course, in the future, 20 years from now, there'll be robots everywhere. And LuBotics is really here to say there are some jobs and tasks these robots can do now.
Well, as a local project, how much involvement do you have from the local community in putting your project together and seeing it expand?
Well, because I'm a USF professor, the school provides resources for early stage startups. And those resources come from some small business loans at a very low interest rate. There's some pairing with industry professionals. There's also opportunities for us to connect with other entrepreneurs that have also started businesses before us, which has been helpful. The county has a significant entrepreneur kind of drive to help businesses grow here. So I participated in a small competition where the county actually awarded us some $2,000 of funds to help get the business going.
And my guess is your efforts to secure more grant money or more research money are ongoing.
Ongoing, right. So the good thing about a project like this is that the federal government has many programs for the research and development side of the project. So the government's not just a buyer of the product, but they also support the development of the technology. So government agencies like NASA, right? So we would like to send this robot into space or into Mars, onto the moons of Jupiter. And NASA has funds set aside to help companies that are small get started. So we can compete for NASA money. The National Science Foundation also has funds to help small businesses, the Department of Defense, and even the Department of Agriculture. So we talked about trying to get these robots on the farms, how can they help? Well, the Department of Agriculture encourages us to engage with farmers to see how can we help small farms be more productive, and then they can provide funds to help us meet those goals.
Well, the ultimate question with any technology is it user-friendly? So how, can you show us or tell us a little bit about how the robot, and more importantly, what's the robot's name?
Right.
How the robot interacts with its user.
So the robot's name is Archie. One of the things us engineers do is come up with these weird acronyms. Archie actually stands for All-Terrain Remote Control Hexapod, and the IE is just 2 letters to make Archie work. It uses a standard remote control. Right now, the remote control looks like that of a PlayStation 3 or a video game console. But we can put any number of remote controls on the robot depending upon the needs. We did talk to some U.S. Army Rangers, and they were very interested in something that's very small and very rugged that they can throw in their pocket. So in the future, we'll be looking to adapt the controllability of our robots to fit specific needs.
And now Luther's going to show us how Archie moves.
So it's going to walk in an alternating tripod. We're familiar with camera tripods, and animals use their 6 legs in much a similar way, where 3 legs work together. So we can see this leg, and this leg working together to form a tripod on the ground. And when one tripod goes down, the other tripod lifts up. And this is the fastest of all of the kind of 6-legged walking gaits. This is a gait that cockroaches use, stick insects use, and almost every 6-legged animal uses the alternating tripod at really top speeds.
If 5 years in the future, where do you see it?
We see us with a significant foothold in the military space. I mean, the military, the Department of Defense spends about $300 million every couple years trying to equip their soldiers with small robots. So we hope to get a foothold into that space and then be at the point where we can branch out to areas like farmland and construction. Our initial target market is the military, so we kind of hope to do that first. And then, you know, the possibilities are really endless. I mean, things that it's almost impossible to think of all the areas that these robots can go. So as more people are exposed to it, and more people see it, they might say, oh, I can use that for my job. If I'm a surveyor, I can use that to survey because the ground is uneven. So it's really, it's difficult for us to say where we'll be in 5 years, but we certainly hope to grow. We hope to hire more employees. Right now, it's just me and my co-founder, but we have plans in the near future to hire another person. But 5 years from now, we hope to have 15, 20 employees.
Well, is Archie being brought out to the community, to schools, so kids can get to see him and see how he works?
Yeah, so we love engaging with kids, and kids love seeing our robot. I say that people from 2 to 92 enjoy looking at robots and seeing what robots can do. And you know, kids have great questions and they have great enthusiasm. As soon as they see it start to move, it really gets their mind going. And what we hope to do as a professor at University of South Florida, what I hope to do is encourage these students to be interested in math and technology, math and science. So that's a part of the mission I have as a professor. And as a small business, I'm interested in engaging the community and also letting more people know what's going on here in Tampa Bay.
Well, as part of that effort, Luther, if people want to know more, either teachers on behalf of their students or folks in the community, how do they find out more information about LuBotics and about you and your project? Okay,
so they can go to the LuBotics website. It's LU. The LU is because we started making legs at USF, and then we added botics onto that. They can go to LuBotics.com. We post updated videos. We post places that we'll be. We've had some interaction with MOSI here in town, so we can post on there where we'll be around town so that people can see what's going on.
Well, great. Luther, thank you so much, and thank you so much for bringing Archie. And it's been good talking to you today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we will be right back with more Innovation Fixation.
Creating a corporate video is the fastest way to deliver any message online about your business. Many companies are now switching their primary marketing focus to online video-based strategies, and as such are seeing a much higher return on investment. Video sharing sites like Vimeo or YouTube have the potential to get your videos seen by millions of viewers, simply because videos hosted on these sites are shareable. A corporate video can be the gift that keeps on giving, as it can be used in a multitude of different ways. The video can double as a brand awareness tool. The video also can be repurposed or cut down to a promotional style. With an experienced, creative, and award-winning staff, TBCN is the right choice for all your video and audio production needs. To learn about how we can help you expand or refine your business through the use of video, call us at 813-977-5200 and visit us at tbcn.org.
Welcome to Innovation Fixation. I'm Joe Touger, attorney and guest host, and with me today is Mary Lynn Morris, inventor of the rolling dance chair. Welcome, Mary Lynn. Tell us about the rolling dance chair.
Well, the rolling dance chair was actually developed quite a long time ago. I started working on this project in 2005, so it's been a 10-year passion. And my interest was in looking at new approach to wheelchair design from a dance lens and looking at it specifically from a creative perspective and an expressive perspective. I was working with dancers with and without disabilities in a company here in Florida, Revolutions Dance, and also the chair came out of my own personal caregiving experience as a caregiver. But I just started looking at the ways in which most of the chairs the individuals I was working with had were either manual chairs or regular power chairs. And those chairs either had a fixed, hand control, joystick control, or the individuals held the wheels to use the chair, and started thinking a lot about how could the control system really be changed in some manner so that the individual could just simply lean or move subtly in the chair and their arms would be freed up, their upper body would be freed up to interact and work with other dancers. So I really started thinking about the control, started thinking about even lighting effects and different kinds of movement possibilities in general for the chair in connection with the dancer's body. So that's kind of how the project came about. With that motivation, I initially approached the engineering department at USF, and we did some early collaborations, and then it moved forward from there. And this existing prototype that kind of integrates everything was developed over the past couple of years, really working intensely with two companies, one in Florida, one in California. Two individuals specifically, Neil Edmonston and Mark Rumsey, have worked with me as collaborators on this project, and we've gotten it to this point now where it kind of integrates all of these ideas.
Now, is the chair available for the consumers to purchase, or is it still more in a design phase?
It's still in the research and development phase, although we really do have a patented, good working prototype right now that I think in its next iteration will be sort of commercially ready or product ready, and we're trying to make it as robust as possible. And now I have actually two companies from the wheelchair industry on board with me, and we're moving forward with that. So I think it has a lot of future potential to move into the commercialization phase. I'm working with Quantum Rehab, which is a subsidiary of Pride Mobility, and also working with National Seating and Mobility, and they will be helping to supply sort of the wheelchair industry perspective, and may be interested in potentially licensing it. So that's kind of where it is right now.
Now, your background is in dance, is that right?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And dance and wheelchair design don't always seem to be two subjects that people link in their minds. What was the inspiration to bring together wheelchair design with your background in dance?
I think the first thing was I was working with dancers with and without disabilities in a company. So mixed ability dance is something that I think the general public is starting to see more of. They are seeing, even in popular shows, seeing individuals with disabilities dance. But it has grown slowly, started in about the 80s. But there are companies all over. Access Dance Company is one of the most well-known in California. There's outside of the US as well. And so these companies are really exploring disability in really unique ways and the devices in really unique ways, and really, from a dance perspective, we're kind of movement experts. We're kinesthetic experts, and we really play with the nuances of movement, the movement qualities, and really get into those things. So having that background, having that base in movement experience, really sort of prompted this notion of how else could this wheelchair really be more responsive to other dancers? How could it be lighter? How, there's dancers who, want to do somersaults in their wheelchairs. There's dancers who want to go aerial in their wheelchairs. Just like in sports, you have racing chairs, you have tennis chairs, etc. So this was just saying, okay, how do we branch into a dance perspective with this, but also seeing the application to daily living. And for me, it's always been kind of a concurrent motivation motivation in that I've seen the application in dance and wanted to explore it in dance, but also from my personal caregiving experience, my father was injured in a severe car accident, and he had a brain injury and a lot of physical bodily complications. He used a number of different wheelchairs, and from that experience, which was 21 years, my mom and I, learned a lot about just working with devices and the complications, just the ease or not ease of getting from place to place, and this is one reason why individuals with disabilities a lot of times historically have not gone outside, have stayed inside, because mobility devices or the things that are supposed to allow a person to partake in society are not there for them yet. So looking at new ways of designing is really important.
Well, it's great that the dance was the inspiration, but is it limited only to dancers with disabilities, or can the chair have a broader application to other disabled people that would like to be more physically active?
Absolutely can have a broader application. I'll briefly tell you, the chair is controlled via smartphone at this point, so it's a wireless control, and so a caregiver or the person in the chair can easily control the chair by tilting the phone forward, back, side, or diagonal. The chair is omnidirectional, so it moves in every direction besides forward and back and turning. And what we've done also is wear the wireless control. So experimenting, and as things are made smaller and smaller, there's more potential for this to really come to fruition. Lean forward, lean back, go back, side, rotate. So subtle movements of the body could allow the chair to move. So in that respect, the chair basically encourages social interaction, encourages interpersonal interaction, and also increases some spatial access and spatial possibilities. So that would be relevant for even a daily living situation where you just need to multitask with your arms, and it may not be dance necessarily, but you may be just in that kind of a situation, or a social dance frame, or even a sport of some sort, recreational experience, and also could be useful in a rehabilitation situation where you're trying to regain core muscle activation or something like that, and the chair could potentially prompt that.
Well, it sounds like you've really thought through so many of the potential applications of the chair, and I guess the big question is, when can we as consumers be ready to see it come to market?
So I hope as soon as possible, of course. I am, like I said, the most recent thing is I'm working with these two wheelchair companies, NSM and Quantum Mobility, and that really has potential to move this forward in a commercial way. So, of course, I'm always looking for funding, and there's an easy way to donate through the USF Foundation. Just type in Rolling Dance Chair Project and my page will come up. So I'm always looking for funding, applying for grants and that kind of thing to develop this product into the most effective product possible. I've had a lot of individuals with disabilities test the chair, give feedback. I think bringing multiple perspectives to the table is so important. The artist, the dancer, the engineer, the technician, the people with disabilities of multiple kinds. That's what makes a good product, and that's what I'm trying to do is do it in a really smart way, so that we come up with
sounds like you're succeeding. And tell us one more time, how do people get in contact with you or find out more about your project?
To get in contact with me, you can email me at mmorris3@usf.edu, or go to my blog spot, Arts and Disability Blogspot. Those would be the best ways probably, but just to get in direct contact with me, and then I can send information on the chair, let people know where it's at. I'm always happy to connect with individuals interested in it and hear from people. So.
Well, Marilyn, thank you so much, and thank you for coming to Innovation Fixation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to be featured on Tampa Bay Community Network, please call 813-977-5200 or visit tbcn.org.